Welcome to Sal's Classic Bodybuilding Archives. In today's episode, we take a look at Muscle Builder and Power magazine from January 1978, where Mike Mentzer describes his fail-safe arm routine for the 1978 Mr. Olympia contest. Enjoy. When you stop and look back at the top champs who have totally dominated the bodybuilding scene over the last 10 years or so, what one physical characteristic did they all have in common? Why, big arms, of course. While a complete physique is absolutely essential in becoming a top superstar, only those with really outlandish arms make it into the category of elite. The mystique that shrouded such immortals as Pearl, Scott, Oliva, and Schwarzenegger seemed to stem somehow from the fact that they all had extraordinary arm development. Consider the arms of all the top bodybuilders, both past and present. Those that have served to inspire me the most were Larry Scott's and Rick Wayne's. Scott and Wayne possessed somewhat similar arms with an almost perfect combination of size, shape, definition, and separation of the biceps and triceps into distinct muscular bodies. As a kid, I remember sneaking backstage after Scott won his first Olympia title and being able to scrutinize those arms at close quarters. I decided that I was going to have some guns just like that someday. Well, here I am, some 12 years later, and while I have abandoned the notion of building arms exactly like Scott's, I do believe I am closing in on a limit that my arms can develop as dictated by my genetic prescribed potential. In order to get my arms that big, I plan to keep on doing just what I have been doing, namely train hard, briefly, and infrequently. While most of my competitors average 20 sets for both biceps and triceps for up to 3 times a week, I've been averaging 5 sets for biceps and triceps for never more than 2 workouts a week. Before getting into the actual routine, let me state now that I'm not promising 20-inch arms if you use this method. That is something no one or training method can promise, since the size of your arms eventually reached is indicated by your hereditary potential. I can guarantee, however, that if you train as hard as you possibly can, which is what my method is designed to allow you to do, then your arms will reach their size limit, whatever it happens to be. At the present time, I'm working my arms on Monday and Thursday, along with chest and legs. I don't feel that it is all that important which body parts you train along with your arms, as long as you train them after you've trained your torso muscles. For example, your chest, back, or delts, since your arms are directly involved in working these muscles. If you work your biceps, for instance, on the same day you work your lats, make sure that you work your biceps after your lats. Otherwise, the fatigued biceps muscle will hamper the lat work, since your biceps are involved in almost all lat work. The same goes for the triceps and the chest. The triceps are involved in chest work, so why limit the effectiveness of your chest work by tiring out the triceps first? By all means, save your arms for last. After working my chest on Monday and Thursday, I go right into the triceps, since the chest work helps to warm up the triceps anyway. The following is a breakdown of exercises I employed, along with a brief description of each. 1. Tricep press downs. I launched directly into a set of tricep press downs with as much weight as I can handle for about 6 to 8 reps. Starting with the heaviest weight you can handle rather than building up allows you to handle heavier weights since you are fresher at the beginning, and of course, the more weight you use, the more muscle you'll be able to build. With as little rest as required to allow me to resume training with normal efficiency, I'll drop the weight about 30 pounds and perform my second set of press downs. These 2 sets are carried to complete failure where I can't begin to perform another rep, and then oftentimes my training partner will assist me in doing a couple of forced reps. Occasionally I'll do a third set, only much lighter, and concentrate on a slow, continuous tension type of motion to get at all the fibers. Number 2 are lying French press supersetted with dips, using as heavy weight as possible. After having fatigued the triceps so much with the press downs, I perform a set of strict lying French presses, followed immediately by a set of dips to failure. This combination exposes the triceps to an incredibly high level of intensity, and thus you shouldn't require more than 1 or 2 cycles of these 2 exercises. Number 3, Scott curls. I begin the Scott curls on a curling bench that is perpendicular to the floor, so that the upper arms are almost 90 degrees to the ground. This will ensure resistance in the top position of the curl. My first set is very heavy, usually in the neighborhood of 160 pounds for about 6 reps. Then my training partner will assist me in performing a couple of forced reps, or as many as it takes to leave the biceps totally exhausted and unable to contract against any resistance. The second set is done with a much lighter weight, as the first set tired them out so much. Number 4, concentration curls. I usually do no more than 2 sets with a moderately heavy weight, which allows me 6 good strict reps, and then with a little help of my free hand, I'll force out another 2 or 3 reps. I begin to curl with my arm hanging perpendicular and resting against the inside of my thigh. As I proceed through the range of motion, I supinate the hand so that the inside head of the dumbbell touches my interior delt at the point of completion. Number 5, reverse dumbbell curls. Recently, I've added reverse dumbbell curls to my arm training regimen. Arnold opened everyone's eyes to what complete arm development is really all about with that double biceps back shot. Those 2 huge lumps on his arms, situated between the biceps and the triceps, are the brachialis muscles. The reverse dumbbell curl is far and away the best exercise to develop them. No more than 2 heavy sets of 6 to 8 reps are needed to bring them out. That's the whole workout right there. A total of about 10 sets. That isn't much, but then that's what allows me to put so much into each and every set. I don't have to pace myself the way someone doing 20 sets has to. For me, each set is a maximum effort designed to induce the most growth stimulation. Still skeptical? Remember, I've already added 2.5 inches to my arms with this type of training, and they are still growing. Try it just the way I've outlined it, and I'm sure your arms will blast off to be on their way to the absolute limits of their potential. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, if you are enjoying Sal's content, please consider clicking on the heart-shaped thanks icon. I would appreciate it. Until the next video, keep training and chasing the dream.